Did it work? I tried to carve a heart into my pillow. I just want to do something different with my hair sometimes. Look at my hearts. These are so pretty. Thank you, Mommy. It looks like the cake fairy came and threw up pink, doesn't it? Ding. Pink everywhere. Hey cake nieces, it's Marisha. We gotta get started early on things. That is one of my little New Year's, not resolutions, just changes that I'm gonna be doing. I need to be early for stuff with my YouTube channel instead of doing everything either the day of or after. So that's something I'm gonna work on this year. And I just don't like to do stuff when everybody else is doing stuff. I'm not trying to be like late. I like to be different. We're gonna be celebrating Valentine's Day. Now this is something I would make any time of the year. It doesn't have to be a Valentine's Day video at all or a Valentine's Day treat. It's just something that's gorgeous. They are the Macarons with the roses. But for all of you questioning how in the world did they do that, I'm gonna show you guys how it's done. I'm guessing, I don't know how people did it, but I'm gonna do it myself. If you haven't done so yet, you're gonna have to subscribe. You're just gonna have to subscribe to the channel. I need you to show support. And by showing support, that is liking the video. You know what I'm saying? Don't just leave me hanging out here in these streets. Press on the notification bell and let's get started. Okay, cake nieces, so the first step before anything and everything, you want to make sure that your mixing bowl is completely grease free. I do that by wiping the mixer bowl out with vinegar to cut any fat, any grease that may be in there. So I went ahead and I put in my egg whites. I started whisking them up. They are room temperature. That is very important. If they're too cold, they won't foam up properly. After I get a little bit of foam action, I'm going to add in some cream of tartar, and then I'm going to let them mix up a little bit more. After that, I'm going to gradually add in my granulated sugar. And you want to do this process slowly because you want the sugar to have enough time to kind of melt in with the egg whites. At this point, you can add in whatever extracts that you are going to be using to flavor your macarons. I'm going to be using some raspberry extract. I have never used this raspberry extract, and I'm really excited to see how this turns out. So this will be perfect for Valentine's Day, especially because my color scheme is going to be pink, purple, white, so that'll be delicious. Now for our dry ingredients, I have in my sifter some almond flour and some confectioner's sugar. You want to make sure to use fine almond flour, and if you don't, this is what is going to happen to you, which is not bad, but you are going to get a lot of thicker grains. They're almost like the size of grits left behind in the sifter, and you cannot use that. You can see the difference from what is sifted through the mesh and what was left behind. So you can put that back in your almond flour, and I just took a 1/3 cup more of that almond flour and put that in and made sure that I had enough for the recipe. Once our egg whites have reached a nice stiff peak, they kind of look like shaving cream, then we can go ahead and add 1/3 of those egg whites. We're going to fold that in. This is the process of folding at this point. After we folded in that 1/3 amount, we're going to now add half of what's remaining. Fold that in, and then we're just going to keep on going until we've incorporated everything together. Make sure that you've reached a consistency that is similar to lava when you kind of drizzle it off of your spatula. And I just want to know what you guys prefer. Do you prefer edible gifts like chocolates, maybe a good old cake, or do you prefer like balloons and the flowers and the teddy bears? I like interactive gifts. Chocolate covered strawberries, I could eat those. Interactive. I don't know, I like games. I feel like that's really fun that like I could actually do something with, you know, because then we could sit there and play the game. That's fun. I just gave somebody an idea out there. Just cute, a little game. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pipe little mounds onto a sheet tray that I have lined with some parchment paper. You can use a template. I had a template under here that I made, but I didn't really go by it. I just kind of eyeballed it. Typically, you can go a little bit larger than a quarter. I like small macarons. You can do larger macarons. It's really up to you what size that you do. I just know that I also have to do some hearts. I have never done a successful macaron heart, even though I've only tried once. This is going to be my second attempt. So I've also colored some of the batter pink, and when doing that you want to make sure that you color it before you mix it fully so that you don't over mix that batter. And I'm going to do the same thing, a few of the mounds and then a few hearts. I also did purple, which you will see later on. One of the most important steps is to bang your sheet tray up against your surface a few times to knock out any air bubbles that are in that macaron. And then you want to just tap lightly with a toothpick and then smooth it out. And these are going to rest for about 45 minutes. In the meantime, we can make our raspberry filling. I'm going to smash some fresh raspberries, and then I'm going to add a little bit of buttercream. I'm going to mix those two together, and that's going to be my filling. Very simple and straight to the point. If you already know that you're going to have a Valentine for this Valentine's Day, give them a shout out down below. I don't have anyone to shout out, so hey Marisha, you know. My macarons at this point have cooled off. I have flipped them over to the flat side, and I'm going to take my filling, pipe that in the very, very center, and then I'm going to refrigerate these for about 10 minutes until the filling has hardened. Next, I'm going to do my favorite part. I had a little bit of anxiety with this because I haven't piped a buttercream rose in so long. So I'm using a very small petal tip, Chef Fast tip number 104. I'm going to use my rose nail, and then I'm putting my buttercream that I made earlier into the piping bag with that petal tip. Pipe a small mound in the very center. The first petal is going to be one petal going all around that mound while rotating that rose nail, and that's going to be the center of your rose. After that, you're going to pipe a few short petals. We want to keep these roses small, so after doing this a few times, I saw that between 3 and 4 petals. I do have a separate video. It's pretty old. It is not the same quality as this one, but it's definitely helpful if you've never made a rose before, or if you just want some tips on how to make better buttercream roses. I'll leave that for you guys in the description below. It's actually one of the first videos that I ever did, and I was so excited because I was in culinary school and I had my cake decorating class, and this was actually something that I was learning at that very moment in time. And I just came home and I started recording, and I was like, I'm gonna show everybody what I learned in school. And it was just so much fun. I got so good at it. It is simple. You just really have to get comfortable with it. You have to do it loads of times. I recommend just making frosting and using that as your practice frosting. Can we just play that back? Because I have no idea how that rose literally hopped off like a cricket or something off of my rose nail onto my hand. Okay. I'm going to pop these roses in the freezer for about 10 minutes to make sure that they are fully solid before we move forward. Now, because the filling that I used is completely hard at this point, I do need to apply something for those roses to stick onto. So I'm going to use some regular plain buttercream and just pipe a small amount of that, and then I can pick up the roses and gently attach them to that frosting. Voila! Now, the one thing that I can say is you want to make sure not to pipe too much of that filling, because you don't want to go too far out with the roses. And you'll see what I mean. There's one on the left side, that white one. Those roses come out so much and it looks so weird, and it's like, girl, what happened there? And just think, like, if I had these in a container, that macaron would be messed up. So you want to make sure that your roses are kind of tucked inside and protected by the rest of the macaron cookie, if that makes any sense. I like to show you guys my successes and my mistakes. Look at these crinkle cookie looking macarons. The white ones are okay, but the purple and the pink, oh my goodness. So I looked this up. What in the world could cause these to crinkle up so much? That happens when the cookie was not tapped enough and the air was not released. It gets trapped in the cookie while baking, and then it kind of forces its way out. After seeing the white ones come out, I made sure to tap the beans out of the purple and pink ones, and they came out even more wrinkly. So I literally have no idea. The only thing I could think of is that I tried a new recipe than the recipe that I've used previously, but I'm just gonna go back to my old recipe, because if it's not broke, don't fix it. Regardless, I'm gonna use them. I kind of can appreciate the artistry behind them. No, they're not how perfect macarons should look, but they're still gorgeous. I am not mad at the art. When I ran out of roses, I opted for Valentine's Day themed sprinkles. And now to finish off my perfect little baby roses, I'm going to pipe some green leaves in between each of the roses. And this also covers whatever gap that you may see. It brings a fullness, it brings a completeness, and I think these look perfect. I do, I really do. I'm in love with them. Crinkle Macarons by Marisha. I really do like the way that they look. Like, I really do. The tartness from the raspberry balances that buttercream. One of the better macarons that I've ever had. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Couture and Rose macarons. Bye guys. I took it back to last year's Macarons 101 video to find the Cakenista comment of the day. And that is a great video. It's very informative and it's very fun to watch. You guys should definitely check it out if you haven't already. I will leave it in the description, of course. Matter of fact, it'll be right here at the end of the video. Don't worry, I got you. Okay, so today's Cakenista comment is going to go to Arnica Bannister. Arnica, is that right? Okay, she says, this should be as cool proof. I don't know if you meant to say cool or full, but I really like it. I like cool proof as they come. I gave up on trying to make these last summer after I failed, but I'm gonna try your way. I hope that you did, and I hope that they came out beautifully. They're not nearly as difficult as they seem. I feel like if you can make a mousse, if you can make frosting, something like that, you could definitely make these. So I wish you guys the best. Time for me to go. I haven't even had anything to drink today. I wish you guys the best of luck in your macaron making. You have to say it with French accent. Macaron. And I will see y'all soon in the next video. Bye, Cakenista. Macaron. No, they're just a video and then I'm gonna eat them.